Hello, hello. Happy new moon. I'm a bit late to the party, but not really late at the same time. This new moon began Wednesday evening, and I'm posting this video Friday morning. A timeless video because it's always going to be a new moon. We're also never late because when the moon becomes new, it takes 2 weeks to grow. They always say when it comes to manifesting your desires on a new moon, you want to wait until it becomes a waxing moon, a waxing crescent, because that's when the light is actually shining and you use that light, you use that fresh new light to begin the new journey, to begin new ideas, to begin new goals that you're setting for yourself. This new moon has been, I would say, an easygoing one because we just left the deep eclipse season that for me really cleansed a lot of things out of my system, a lot of ideas, and brought so much to light. And as a lot was getting brought to light, it was also vanishing at the same time. So shout out to eclipse season for that. So I just want to get started. I believe in 13 signs astrology, which is extremely close to Vedic astrology. And this astrology has to do with actually looking at where the planets are in the constellations in the sky. So 13 signs astrology, Vedic astrology has to do with constellation astrology, not just zodiac sign astrology. So if we're looking into the constellations and if we're looking at where the planetary alignments align, we would see that this new moon has been in the sign of Scorpio. So Scorpio is about sex, transformations, the fire, the phoenix, the depths of the psyche, the depths of the water, the emotions, and not running away from it. Honestly, owning it. Owning how deep and dark it can get. Owning the quote-unquote negativities that one may have, one may be carrying. So, as we look at this new moon cycle that we are in, the question for you is, how are you owning up to your power? This new moon for me is feeling very powerful. A lot of things that I used to be worrying about can no longer touch me at this time because of me standing in my power. And I know a lot of people feel like when they stand in their power that it feels mean. Oh my God, when I put my boundaries up, I feel mean. And even I have gone through these feelings of feeling mean, right? So we have the waning crescent card. And the waning crescent is the next step that comes after the full moon. When the moon is full, the next step is the waning crescent. So we have the crescent energy showing up for us here, which is the step into a direction, right? The step into the new direction. We have the Pluto card coming out, representing, of course, the Scorpio new moon. Pluto, the sign of transformation, rebirth. I'm trying to grab this card for you guys. Pluto, transformation, rebirth, renewal, even obsession. You see the flames coming out. You see the flames coming out because there's a new birth coming. There's a new creation coming. And fire symbolizes that. You know, Scorpio, I believe Scorpio is the 4th fire sign. just because of the amount of deaths and creations that come about from this one sign, right? So I feel like this new moon is bringing us back to a period that we need to feel, a period that we need to remember within our lives. Because that's how transformation happens. Transformation happens when we can think of what has been going on, and then we remember the feeling that we may have not liked, and we know that we have to go into a different direction. So I don't believe any planets are in retrograde, and if there are, oh, Mars. So the beautiful Mars is in retrograde, right? Mars is actually the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So having this Mars in retrograde, right? Having this actionary sign, the sign of love. Mars is a sign of love, right? Because you fight for what you love. You fight for what you believe. You fight for what you stand for. And I'm feeling right now that the time is to fight for yourself. You know, a lot of old people became awakened in 2020, and now we're about to be in 2023. And the portal has been opened. A lot of realizations have happened. But are we just going to continue to sit on these realizations, or are we going to go forward and create them and ground them into reality? Are we going to continue to sit in these realizations and not do anything? The time to do things is now. We just left eclipse season. The Band-Aid has been ripped off and thrown away. The Band-Aid hasn't been ripped off and it's sitting right next to you in the garbage. No. The Band-Aid has been ripped off and thrown away. It is no longer in sight. So what are you doing with that? How is this transforming your ego? How is this transforming your identity, your self-expression, your creativity? You have a lot of space open. I've been feeling extremely clear. I'm usually someone that's always thinking about the next step. And I haven't been doing that. And it's been uncomfortable, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm gonna sit in this energy. I'm gonna sit in this energy of transformation, okay? Another Pluto card. I'm gonna sit in the energy of not knowing right now, and that's perfectly fine. I do apologize for the dark light at the time, but I'll sit here and read this for you guys. So Pluto, the 8th house, is the house of enigmas, transformation, the hidden sexuality, death. Here is where we can see someone else's property and money. We're able to see clearly. We can see what they own, their real estate, inheritance, and investments. Because Pluto's all about connecting, transforming. When two people connect, something new is birthed. Two people make a third. Two people don't make one. They make a third. We can also see our deepest unrevealed wishes, as well as fears, occultism, and esotericism. Esotericism is the practice of the inner. Exo is the outer. Eso is the inner. How deep are you willing to go into yourself? It's only you and you, okay? No one else knows your secrets. I feel like at times a lot of people can be frightened and paranoid. Oh, does someone know this about me? Nobody knows your secrets. Nobody knows your master plan. Nobody knows your fullness. Nobody knows all the energy peak that's within you, the blessings, the achievements that are coming your way. Your path is extremely protected at this time, okay? So I'm feeling and seeing that this transformation does have a lot to do with our relationships and our close connections. And listen, whoever got to go. And you know what? You are able to take it slowly. I feel like a lot of people online speak about cut that person off. You are able to swim slowly away from an energy that you are not okay with. Okay, you are able to release through nurture. You can nurture yourself as you release connections that are not for you. It's not about completely cut them off, right? Because we're all humans. We all connect vastly and closely. It's the Uranus card. Uranus is all about Aquarius, right? Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius, the New Age ruling planet. And Uranus is about sudden changes, but it's also about connections. So there will be a lot of sudden changes to connections with this new moon in Scorpio. Why? Because Scorpio is about the death. It's about the transformation. But I want to be here to tell everyone that's listening to this at this time that you don't have to rush. Transformation isn't on your time, right? It's not on your time. It's on God's time. So yes, we have a lot of stuff coming about connection, people connecting, you know what I'm saying, what you knew in the past. What you knew in the past with your connections with people will no longer get you to the future, right? It will no longer. Finally, we got the new moon card coming out. I was like, girl, when are you going to make an appearance? New beginnings, planting seeds, setting intentions, a blank page. And that's what I've been feeling within myself. I've been feeling like this blank slate, like, okay, like what's going on? And it's beautiful to sit in this blankness. It's beautiful to not know, to not understand, right? It's beautiful to surrender. You have the Pisces card. Pisces is all about surrendering. You know what I'm saying? It's all about your weaknesses, you know, enemies, secret agendas, transcending experiences. It's about the unconscious. It's about seclusion, psychic abilities. You know, a lot of people, I feel like, need to surrender to their alone time. And that's something that the collective has a huge issue with. And child, you need to, because your alone time is your pleasure. You know, you take your alone time to figure out what is more pleasuring to you, what you love, your self-love, your values, your possessions. A lot of people feel like someone else can give them all these things, but at the end of the day, if you do want someone to give you these things, you have to know what things you want. You have to know what values you have, right? But at the same time, what I really feel like this reading is pointing, what direction this reading is pointing into is the direction of Saturn. No more. A lot of people are going to be going into, I believe, if you were born between like 1993 and 1997, your Saturn return is coming up over these next maybe 6 months or so. You'll be beginning your Saturn return. And Saturn is like, listen, the eclipse season is cleaning all this up. There's a new moon in Scorpio just to clean up the final remnants of what may have been left over, what lessons you may have not assimilated into your being as of yet. And it's time for you to be responsible, right? It's time for you to be responsible in creating your own world, creating your new world, having your boundaries, your limitations, and not feeling bad, not feeling guilty. We're not doing any of this through guilt. Because if you feel guilty, you feel like you're not worthy. But don't worry, you know, feeling guilty isn't going to hinder your success. Listen, it's a human, we all have human emotions. We are humans here. Most of us, at least. I like to consider myself a mermaid fairy, but we'll save that for another day. No, but we are all humans here. Feelings of guilt is okay, but it's how do you push through that? How do you push through that, right? It's time to delve into your own world. So listen, sometimes delusion is what you need. Delusion, in a healthy standpoint, is about creating something that you have not seen and doing it in a way where that's unbelievable. It's believing in the unbelievable. And a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people have not reach that point in their manifestations to believe in the unbelievable. Everybody wants to follow everybody, but we'll save that conversation for another day. Everybody wants to follow everybody, right? So with this new moon in Scorpio, this is a timeless message because Scorpio is about transformation, and transformation happens every day. This new moon in Scorpio is not playing. This new moon in Scorpio is not playing. We have a sacred union. We have a sacred union. Also with this new moon in Scorpio, a lot of you guys can feel like you're becoming close to someone, which is quite all right. And that could be a sacred union, right? It could be an alignment, a refinement. This situation can bring patience, nurturance, and evolution because Scorpionic energy is the energy of patience. Pluto takes her time, right? But Pluto is a masterful builder. Pluto is a masterful builder. So here we have the Saturn card. We have Capricorn. No games are being played here. Like, I'm seeing that there's a huge level up when it comes to self-power. There is a huge level up when it comes to self-power. The energy is around. You just have to trust it and take it day by day. Transformation does not happen over one night. Rome was not built in one night. Okay, it's time to launch. When it comes to tropical astrology and everyone that follows the astrology of the earth, this is actually a new moon in Sagittarius. So I'm happy this card finally came out, because after Scorpio, after we have released everything and transformed everything, the time to burst out, scream and shout, run away, run towards, have that hunter energy, that horse energy is now. Some of you guys reading this, some of you guys listening to this is probably at this step. But there's no rush to get to this step. We have some more time. But if you are at this step to launch, it's time to launch. It's time to concentrate, and it's time to reinforce. There's a heavy focal point of energy in one area of your life right now that's ready to burst. Okay? A stellium is when there's a grouping, a cluster of planets in a certain zodiac sign. So there's a huge focal point in your birth chart wheel that shows you where your focus is in this lifetime or in that particular area of life. Devotion needs to happen. The fire, Vesta, the asteroid of fire and devotion. How are you going to devote your time to these endeavors, to these changes? To these changes. Inner wisdom is calling for you. It's time to tap into your inner wisdom. Okay, honeys? Let's just let this roll off your tongue. You will face many oppositions. You will face many people not agreeing with you. But here's the beautiful part of a spiritual alignment and spiritual journey. It is for you. There are a lot of times where we want to do something and we're not sure if we should do it, and we ask the opinions of others and they agree, yeah, you shouldn't do it. But how do you figure out who you are? How do you birth your identity and your newness and your dreams if you listen to the oppositions? Oppositions are used to hear out the other side, maybe make some changes to your perspective, but your perspective must be kept, especially in this situation. What you're thinking of doing, I don't think it's that bad. You have to trust yourself. You may have to revise the vision, but there needs to be no change to the vision, right? There needs to be no change to the vision, because we're on our way to our north node, to our destiny, and challenges will be here. But I mean, listen, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? This life stuff isn't easy, right? This life stuff isn't easy. So I'm really feeling like this is some powerful energy here for this Scorpio new moon according to the sky. If you're someone that's ready to launch, launch. If you're still in that phase of releasing and letting go, release and let go. Right? But just know that it's time to make a decision. There are obstacles in your way, but it's time to take action. It's time to take action. Like, yo, like, it's no more. It's been a few years after this huge awakening, and it's no more. Do what feels good to you. Do what you feel like you need to do. Don't listen to nobody. Personally, for me, I feel like I gotta take a few steps away from the social scene, my social media scene, and I feel like a lot of people need to do that too. Social media is just clumped with so much garbage, so much filling of the mind. We think we need to follow people. We think we need to do things the way everyone's doing them. One thing I hate about social media is how everyone thinks that their creative gifts needs to be monetized. Let's talk about it. Your creation, your birth, your Aries, your fire is for you. Aries is the sign of the individual. Okay. It's for you. It's not for nobody else. If you have something you would like to monetize, sure. But if there's a pressure on, I need to do this, I need to do that. Oh, people need to see this. Then come on. Trust in your own knowing. Trust in your higher knowing. You know what I'm saying? Trust in your higher knowing. Your optimism, your morals, your ethics, your ideals. Trust in what feels good for you. All right, I'm just going to bring out the Rider-Waite to see if there's anything left to say. Okay, the Aries sign just came out, and it's the Queen of Wands. You know your fire. You know your intuition. This card right here is Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, and we have the Sagittarius coming out because, like I stated earlier, fire, fire, fire. Like this new moon, according to the Earth, was in a fire sign, but it's in Sagittarius. So if you're ready to launch, the launch is here. If you're ready to launch, the launch is here. But if you're more so feeling like, okay, a few things need to be tailored, needs to be released before I do this, then trust in that. We have star energy. We have the Six of Wands. The fire is here. Stars, fire. Six of Wands. This card right here means victory. Victory is coming your way. Victory is coming your way, but you need to help yourself. You need to help yourself, right? Listen, I'm not knocking you. If you feel like you have to protect yourself and go into hiding for a little bit, quick little hermit mode, do that. You know, the new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is also a sign of paranoia. As you can see on this guy's face, he has all his wands up. He has one in his hand, and he's looking over his shoulder, a little paranoid. A little paranoid. It's okay. Paranoia is protection, but too much paranoia can lead to overprotection. And how do we let God in if we're overly paranoid? How do we let God in? Understand there is newness of vision. And we have a Sagittarius card coming out again, right? Trust in it. Trust in it. Understand what's going on. But calmness. Calmness is what's going to get you to your divinity, to your wealth, your full wealth. This calmness, right? But to get to the other side, you have to go through. We have to pay attention to our emotions. Our emotions tell us what's good. Listen, our emotions tell us what's good. Now, we have to have the discernment and the self-logic to know which emotions to follow on. But at the end of the day, emotions always tell the story. Emotions is just a story to listen to. Listen, you don't have to act on all of them. It's just a story to listen to. Okay, we have some newness coming in, right? Newness coming in, right? So if I feel like for a lot of people, their emotions have been consuming them. Their emotions have been consuming them, and it's important to be a bit lighthearted about it, right? Feel them, try to understand them, but allow them to release. Allow your lightheartedness to come in when it comes to your emotions. I'm telling you, the emotions can have this deep, dark level where you feel like you're just connected to something so intensely that it can feel devilish. It can feel very dark. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Listen, this new one in Scorpio is here to reveal it all. It's here to reveal it all. It's here to reveal it all. It's here to reveal it all. We're literally not playing. Yeah, it's here to reveal it all. It's here to reveal it all. I'm seeing for some folks that, and what I've been seeing earlier in the reading, it has to do with holding on to the importance, right? Holding on to what's important to you. And sometimes that can get in the way of how you relate to others. But it's important to know what's important to you, for you, right? For you, you have to make that you have to make that decision. You have to make that decision and be determined in that what's okay for you may not be okay for the group, and that's okay. Because the world will still function. You'll still shine. You'll still find your happiness, your glory. You'll still find your wholeness. New perspectives will come through. You'll see the world from a different point of view. When you stick up for your own justice, when you stick up for your own truth, that's when you release the shackles that you have put on yourself, you will see. Come on now, let's really talk. You will see what's good. You will really see what's good for you. Bro, and if you have to get into that hermit bag, it's okay. Nothing is final. Everything is temporary. Get into that temporary cycle of just coming into self. Focus on what's been going on. Look at what you have grown, what you have been working on. Look at what you have been working on, what you have been creating. You know what I'm saying? Understand that there's no room. There's no room for the overthinking and the stress. It's time to just execute. It's time to just execute. Okay? It's time to just execute. No reason to fear heartbreak, because this would be a heartbreaking situation. You're walking away from something that you have known, that you have felt, that you have dealt with for so long. You see this guy, he built up his cups, his emotions, and he's like, all right, I've built it. I've spent the time doing this. I can no longer build in this sector, in this area. I must leave. I must find my transformation and my newness elsewhere in a new environment. I must leave, and it's gonna be painful, but come on now. A lot of pain has already come to a lot of you guys. So what's wrong with also putting ourselves in that pain to gain what we want? A lot of pain has come through losses, but we have to put ourselves in that pain, a different type of pain, to gain what we want. It's the human experience. It hurts. You can't run away from it. I feel like a lot of you guys aren't calling upon your angelic realm. A lot of you guys aren't calling upon your guardian angels. A lot of you guys aren't calling upon God, the Most High, Mother, Father, God. I feel like a lot of you guys are out here trying to do this alone. You cannot do this alone. You cannot do this alone. You need to call upon your ancestors, your angelic kingdom, your guides, the Most High. You cannot do this alone, and you were never meant to do this alone. A lot of people need to let go of expecting family to help you through this. Listen, I see someone here who has their father on one side, their mother on another side, and they're sitting here confused. They don't know which side to pick. Blindfolds on, 2 swords, unable to figure out a solution. Let the family go. The family matters, but the family doesn't always matter. Family matters, but a family doesn't always matter. Let it go. A lot to let go, a lot to release. A lot to let go, a lot to release. Time to build. Time to look into a new direction. Time to command your mind. Time to stand true to your beliefs. Time to command your emotions. Time to release any tensions, any people that give you this type of fighting energy. Release those people, but acquire the energy to fight for yourself. Hello? Acquire the energy to defend yourself. It's time. It's time to stand up for your power. It's time to stand up for your power. You know you. You know you. It's time. It's time. It's time. Take a step back. Understand the Empress energy, royalty, the High Priestess, knowing intuition, the Chariot. It's time to go. It's time to make this happen. You see this guy is in a prayer, but he's laying down in prayer. It's time to pray. You have the artwork of a chapel of a church, and he's sitting down resting. Why? Because he knows his prayers will be answered. A lot of y'all, it's time to get on your knees, say a prayer, hold your hand, in the prayer position and make it happen. And make it happen. Because only with strength, only with strength, only with strength. You are the emperor of your own world, and you deserve all the riches and richness that's coming to you. But how much are you willing to sacrifice? How much are you willing to transform? And how strong are you willing to be? Yeah, I'm feeling like leaving this here. I'm feeling like leaving this here. Let go. Let go. Things are being thrown out. And I really feel like this energy is happening regardless. Whether you're willing to accept it or not, it's going to happen. So I think you need to figure out what God's spirit is trying to give you and allow the release to happen. It's a tower moment regardless. It's a tower moment regardless. So if you want to get ahead of the game, if you want to be on the same level as God wants you to be, if you want to connect with God and your God self, and if you want to be on the same accord, start to let it go. But regardless, it's gone. Regardless, it's gone. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Wishing you all the best.